A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day. An hour of woes and shattered shields when the age of men comes crashing down. But it is not this day. This day we fight. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Hello everybody, I'm the Last Pretender, and this is turn 96 of our Man Redemption series. So let's go ahead and hop right on in and take a look. I cast a lot of spells. That's what I do. I summon flame spirits, I open Tartarian gates, do lots of site searching. Is there really anything else I'm doing at this point in time? Summoning a Legion of Wights, Call the Wild, of course, Awakened Vine Men, and that's really it. Otherwise, not a lot else is going on in the world. We've got some plagues and stuff, and that's unfortunate for those people, but otherwise not a big deal. And what's going to happen is that after seeing that kind of bloody loss, that of which Ulm had in pushing against the Sailor Boys, I forgot how to pronounce their name again. We kind of were like, well, you're basically dead, and we're not going to let the sailors just take everything. And he was like, yeah, that's fair, that makes sense. So I decided I was going to go ahead and knock out Ulm, and he was like, I'm going to fight to the end. And I'm like, cool, man. That's very nice of him. You know, it's honorable of him. And again, I want to give a big round of applause to the guy who played Ulm. Really cool guy who substituted in a tough situation, late game. That's rough. And he did a great job. I mean, everybody said he did a great job. And I think everybody appreciated it. So, yeah, big nod to that guy. You know who you are. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and go take on. We're going to go ahead and move our troops around a little bit more, kind of shoring up various locations, bringing in an army to kind of load up over into here. Sending in some troopers to kind of cover up over here as well. And that's basically all that's really going on. I could show you more stuff, but really, it's a bunch of nothing at the end of the day. And I want to move through this kind of quickly. So let's go ahead and hop on over to turn 97. 97 is a cool turn, I guess. And guess what? We cast more spells. We cast a whole bunch more spells. At some point in time, I don't know if I say it, but if I've done it yet or not, but at some point in our future, yeah, we must have already done it, I believe. I am going to forge a... I don't see it, but I do forge a Ring of Wizardry in the next few turns or so. Which is going to be helpful. Because then we can cast Wish, right? Because if we take a look at Grace Kelly here, she's a Astral 4. Puts on the hat, Astral 5. Puts on the coin, 6. She could already do 7, couldn't she? Wait, there's a way to do Wish, isn't there? I forget. Anyway, the point is that I forged a Ring of Wizardry because it seemed like a good idea. And that's really all I have to say about that. Anyway, we use it in various ways to help certain guys open up Tartarian gates, and it's just a good item to have to be able to shift around and have people cast spells whenever you need to. I guess she can't cast Wish, can she? I don't know. I forgot what I was thinking about. Anyway, it doesn't really come up in the game, so don't worry about it. Neither here nor there. This is more of us just kind of shifting our troops around and preparing our invasion into Ulm. You can see that no more global enchantments have been cast at this point in time. Though I think... yeah, one more is going to be cast. So we're going to see that a little bit later. And we're launching our invasion into Ulm. So let's hop on over to turn 98. Turn 98. Bang. Boom. Okay, so a lot more spells got cast. One of them is going to be Flames from the Sky. I cast it this time. Fuck you. I hate this spell. I hate it so much. Like, it devastates my nation so bad. I guess it hurt Ulm too. We killed 29 guys, so I don't know how useful that was, but we did do it. Casting a whole bunch of spells. Infiltrate Ind. Did not succeed. Anyway, we had a battle for Ulm, but there was like nobody there. Okay, we just fought some province defense, so we're not going to worry about that. You can see our Iron Angel hopping around. Our monk got caught and killed. So here we are. The Great Siege of Ulm. It is not destroyed this turn. It's severely damaged, but it is not destroyed. Ultimately, we're going to go ahead and send Persephone on over to take this province right here. We did earlier, by the way, I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but we did snatch ourselves another tasty Master Smith, which we love. We love a good Master Smith. And we've got one right here, and these are great things. These are great things in our day, so that we can forge ourselves lots of cool stuff. In particular, Dwarven Hammers is one of the things we're going to be juicing a lot of, because we're going to need a ton of Demon Banes for late game, because everybody's going to be trying to snipe our poor, beautiful mages. And Demon Banes does a pretty good job of stopping that. Such an important item. Anyway, moving along. I'm going to go ahead and skip on over to turn 99. At turn 99, guess what else happens? A whole bundle of nothing. We cast more spells. Now, Vanheim does cast Celestial Rainbow, which is a very good spell. And he casts it because he's a cool guy, and he doesn't like getting flames from the sky hit. So, that all makes sense. We're going to see Nabah is going to claim himself a throne. So that must make him feel nice. There's some battles that occur here, but this is kind of a big one, but we'll look at it later. It's an army that of which, we'll look at it right now, I suppose. It's an army that of which Vanheim has that's scary, but it doesn't quite terrify me. Does he cast all his stuff here? Let's see if he casts anything here. He doesn't, so I'm not going to worry about it, because he's just going to run over some province defense. But we'll look at it a little bit later. For now, we can see that Persephone's taken out some province defense pretty handily, being she's a frickin' Tartarian. And on this turn, we're going to go ahead and storm the castle. Not a lot of other stuff going on, just the same old, right? Call the Wild, summoning a Legion of Whites, opening up Tartarian gates. You can see our gem income is very good at 59. We're actually going to increase that a little bit by forging a few items. So we're going to end up forging the Disease Grinder at some point, and we're going to use that in combination with the Fever Fetish. So the Fever Fetish automatically gives you disease, and the Disease Grinder turns a disease. It cures the disease and turns it into a death gem. And so we just pass the Fever Fetish around, give someone a disease, boom, turns it into a death gem the next turn. So that's pretty cool. We're also going to be forging ourselves this item right here, the Crown of Despair, which generates 1 death gem a month, just because we're cool that way. So that's what we got going on. Not a lot else to talk about other than just like we're moving a ton of troops all around the place. Summoning a Queen of Elemental Air, right? That's going to be nice. We're actually, I don't think we summoned 2. We're just going to summon 1, I believe. But we're going to summon a Queen of Elemental Air, which is going to be quite nice. We really should summon 2 because I'm very doubtful that other people have summoned 2. But we're going to summon 1. So that's going to be very, very powerful for us. And we're going to go ahead and load up this area right here with some army boys. And that's it. You can see that we're still building up our good old nature gem income. So that way we can ultimately cast Gift of Nature's Bounty, and it'll be very hard for anyone to dispel. Now let's march on to the Century turn. Turn 100. Turn 100. Kablamo. Boom. Boom. Cast more spells. But the big thing is that we're going to battle out Ulm. So let's go ahead and watch this spore right here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, as you watch this, this is it. This is the last great battle of mana. So, go ahead and soak it up. I'll go ahead and explain why it's the last great battle of man. But away we go. That's a lot of stuff. Fortunately, like, oh jeez, a lot of that gets blocked by, a lot of that does get blocked by Arrowfind and such. Particularly the Blizzard does. Iron Blizzard gets blocked by Arrowfind and such. You can see our boys pouring on in. You can see Heats from Hell really doing work. I mean, they're all getting affected by it. All of them are taking little damage from it. I'm actually not sure if that pops you out of I think that does actually pop you out of Mistform, by the way. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, you can see our boys are cutting through. And I mean, if you just take a look and click on some dudes, you can see they've got Protection 28, right? Alright, all those dudes are damaged. I'm not 100% certain why. But let's look at this dude. He's got Protection 28. He's got a... Oh, dude doesn't have it. He's got Weapons of Sharpness. He's got Mass Regeneration. He's got Fire Resistance. He's got Cold Resistance. He's got Poison Resistance. He's got Lucky. He's got Misform, and he's got Arrow Shield. That's quite a bit. That is quite a bit going on for our boys. And that makes them very tough to beat. And this isn't even all the stuff we got going on. Let's see here. It doesn't actually pop them out of... Look at that. It actually does not seem to pop them out of Mistform. See, this dude's just on fire. And now he's not on fire. Huh. Alright, so I was wrong about that. But anyway, it still is a cool spell. And it's really effective against mages as it fatigues them out much faster. Which we like, obviously. And in big spookifying battles, that's important for them. And for us, we can see that our slaves are just fine. Right? Our slaves are just fine. 59 fatigue, no big deal. No big deal. You know, 61 fatigue, not a problem. And you can see our boys are ultimately going to go ahead and storm the castle and win the day in the final great battle of man. So, we took out Ulm. Very nice. And the game would go on for another 5 turns, and it would ultimately end. Now, why would it end? Well, the reason is because Vanheim would go ahead and march north and just take Ind's capital. Now, Ind was a nation that concerned me more than Vanheim did, and I think that's true for Nabaa as well. And so, with them kind of crippled by Vanheim, it was kind of like, okay, me and Nabaa were like, yeah, we're gonna run over, like me and Nabaa are gonna chew up the rest of Ind. We're gonna run over Vanheim, and it's just kind of over at that point. It's just one of the two of us is gonna win. I probably have the advantage because I have better throne placement, right? Like right now, if we take a look, by the way, Celestial Rainbow got cast by Vanheim. You can see that I've got 4 thrones to Nabaa's 3, and I'm gonna basically be able. At turn 105, I was sieging this fortress down and was about to take it. But I've also got like this is right on my border. This is right on my border. If I just took those 2, I win the game, right? But then there's also the fact that like if we're invading Vanheim, I'm probably going to be going for this throne as well. There's a potential for me to get this throne as well. It's not very far away. So I have a lot better access to thrones than Nabaa does, which would help me out a lot. And I'm also just a little bit stronger. So first, I want to go ahead and hop on over to the battle that Vanheim fought against Ind in taking the capital. Because that's a very important battle in our day. I believe it's turn 104 is where that happened. Yes. So let's see. Is this it? This is it. Yes. So Vanheim really doesn't suffer a whole bunch in this. Now, kind of looking at this, like I've seen Vanheim fight battles earlier, and the scripting was pretty not great on this one. And I think the reason was because ultimately Ind was a very tired boy. I've seen Ind fight battles before. I don't know if it's a Vanheim or not. But I think Ind was a very tired boy, and it looked like his scripting was very off. Let alone it looked like his army was out of position. And he said that that was true as well because he wanted to send a guy to an arena and stuff. But, anywho, I will also say that looking at this army from Vanheim, right, not really the most terrifying army. I mean, taking a look here, it's like, doesn't have fire resist, though he can get it because he did cast flaming arrows. But he's got magic resist, which is good because I could really threaten him with that if he doesn't get it. Even at 18 magic resist, I could still cut like 20% of his army off. He's got the regeneration, which is good. The cold resistance of only 5 means that Niffle Flames or whatever it's called is actually going to be pretty good against this. Poison resistance, he's not doing for everybody. He's only got it on his bless. He doesn't have it on his non-blessed units, so that's a problem. Same thing goes for the shock resistance, right? And 10 shock resistance isn't enough to deal with Thunderstrike, let alone -5. So even if he gets it up to 0 and to 15, my Thunderbolts are going to be a big deal. Effectively, what I would do is I would have the Storm Blade coming in, or just cast Storm right away. Summon Storm Power, and then just spam out Thunderstrikes, and that would really devastate this army, I think. And of course, the fact that my armies are very large, replicatable. So this army doesn't terribly scare me, but this army does rough up Ind and absolutely demolish them. Go ahead and fast forward a little bit. This takes a little while, but eventually you'll see that that Ind does ultimately fall. Very nice. So, you know, great play by Vanheim to be able to fight back, especially after there was a coalition formed against him. But at around this time also, Nabad pulled out of the war against Vanheim and negotiated a non-aggression pact with him because he was more afraid of Ind than he was of Vanheim, and he had begun to raid Ind. And so that kind of put Ind out of the game, being 2v1'd. So you can see right here a devastating victory. I mean, like, yeah, 200 guys were lost, but like 100 of those were long dead, so it wasn't really a big deal. I mean, he did lose 47 Einheirs or whatever it's called, but not much else. 34 skin shifters is nothing to scoff at either, but not really terribly a lot else. You can see huge losses from Ind here, particularly with 37 of his mages and of his abbot sages, and even more of other mages. So, big win there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the state of the game in the final turn. So obviously Ind was ready to call it at that point in time. Nabal was ready to call it. I'd been kind of tired and ready to call it for a while. And the sailors were like, yeah, screw it, I'm done. I mean, you know, you can't blame him. I mean, I don't think he has any throne. He has one throne, and he's just sort of like, okay. He was like, yeah, I kind of feel like I can't win. So he was ready to call it as well. So we ultimately ended up calling it here. This is sort of where the army is at this point in time. You can see I've got big old armies. I've got an army pushing here. It's mostly wolves, but it's a lot of infantry and cav and stuff as well. I'm going to take this turn. You can see that I'm sieging down this fort right here. Vanheim was shelling me with fires from afar, but all of my mages were decked out with flame-resistant gear, so it actually wasn't that big of a deal. And we were going to take this province very soon, which was going to be very nice for us. And then probably go ahead and just hit Vanheim, which is probably our next big play, I think. Kind of depending. I don't know. We might need a few more troops, but we have a good bit right here. I think we have a good bit right here, and I think we could probably take down Vanheim pretty quickly, especially if I forge a bunch of gate cleavers, which I have the gym income to do. And on this province right here, by the way, it turns out there was an ancient forge, which made things even better. Forge a bunch of gate cleavers and just go take Vanheim real fast. And I really don't think I could be stopped at that point. I mean, it would be obnoxious to deal with Vanheim's army and stuff, but I ultimately don't think he was really in a winning position, especially considering the fact that Nabal was going to join my side in the war. I was just gonna. Ended basically told me that he was pulling all of his troops to go ahead and fight Vanheim, and so I could just take all these provinces behind him, which was gonna help. The next thing you'll notice is I've got lots of little mages here because they're all building palisades. I'm building palisades all over the place because I was able to cast Gift of Nature's Bounty, which you can see by my income. My income at 26,000, pretty significant. So that's cool. If we take a look here, I'll show the graphs in a second, but basically I think the state of the game was something in the effect of it was going to be either me or Nabah that were going to ultimately win. And for Nabah to win, he'd have to kill me. And so that was going to be quite a grinding. Most people agreed at this point in time that I kind of was the leader of the game. If you were to call a winner, I would be the winner, but really it could go either way between me and Nabah, though. I was a little bit luckier with throne location. Anywho, so nice income. Our gem income of roughly 61 death gems a turn, because we have the bone grinder and we have the crown that gives you +1 death gem a round. So that's pretty cool. 29 fire gems, but there's +2 for the fever charm, right? Or +1 for the fever charm. However many it is, +2 I think. We've got 18 air gems, kind of our weakest by far. 38 water gems a turn, plus I think 2 for having that fire eye. 26 earth gems, 32 astral, 61 death, 29 nature. Very, very good gem income. I was just going to fort every single province. Just fort up a ton of provinces. In a couple places I wasn't going to. I was going to use it to just recruit a bunch of Logrian Wisemen to try and get nature Earth 2s up as much as I could, so I could really spam out weapons of sharpness. You can see just tons of palisades getting built all over the place. Palisade. Palisade. Right? Palisade. 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 Surprisingly not a palisade there. But palisade. 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 Let's go ahead and take a look at all the graphs, shall we? So the first graph is number of provinces. You can see me and Nabah are very close. Definitely a lot more than everybody else. We were probably going to benefit the most from dropping End. Nabah in particular was probably going to benefit quite a lot. You can see from this big spike right here was just raiding he did on End. Let's see here. I was going to be invading Vanheim. As far as forts go, mine was already going up and it was going to skyrocket. If we look at our income, you can see that Gift of Nature's Bounty had a significant impact. I put a whole bunch of gems into it. So it was going to take a lot for them to dispel it. Like I said, I put over 320 into it. So it's going to be quite a lot for them to dispel. As far as gem income goes, mine's the best. Nabah has 2 gem generating spells up right now, which is why he's as close as he is. We're all done with research. My army size is pretty significant, and it's growing significantly every day because my actual income is so high. That's about it. That's pretty much the game, guys. So just a little brief kind of conversation, I guess I would say, is that this was a really fun game. Got exhausting at the end there, but I played with some really great guys. You know, particular shout out to the replacement for Ulm. That was a real quality move. Talking to End and Nabah all game. Really cool, really nice guys. I didn't really talk a lot to the Sailor Boys, but everybody had nothing but good things to say about them. They seemed to be like a really nice guy. And, you know, Vanheim, of course, played very, very well. Was pretty honorable in that he pulled his army back after he messed up and accidentally attacked and broke a nap that he forgot he had with the sailors. So that was all pretty cool. So a pretty cool group of guys. A good game. I hate Flames from the Sky. Hate that spell. I think that if I could change one thing about Dominions, it would be to remove that godforsaken spell, because it is devastating, and I hate it. Playing as MA Man was a lot of fun. They're kind of a vanilla, kind of boring nation, but you kind of gotta, if you know how to juice them and kind of get everything out of them, they can be okay. The obvious weakness is Flames from the Sky, though. It's so bad, particularly on MA Man, because all their mages have no protection. They have super low HP, and it's just like... fortunately, I had the water income to forge a bajillion Demon Banes to keep my mages alive, but even still, it would kill huge swaths of infantry and such. Not a lot I can do about that. The communions are very strong. Definitely something to lean on. You don't need longbows like everybody says. Okay? It's not a requirement. And yeah, had a lot of fun. If you watched this far in this many episodes, you are an incredible trooper. I hope it was somewhat fun to watch. I tried to make this a lot more pleasurable of a viewing experience than it was for my previous Let's Plays, as I would like live play every turn and stuff, and I change my mind all the time, and I go, oh, but I forgot about this. No, I want to do this, and I re-looked at them, and it's terrible, absolute garbage. So hopefully this was a little bit better. Tried to make things a little bit smoother by just doing overviews of about 5 or so turns at a time. Hopefully I explained some stuff. If you didn't understand something I was doing or something along those lines, I hope you left a comment. And if I was wrong, you let me know, because I'm sure I was at several points in time. And being corrected is going to make me a better player. Anywho, the nation of man stands tall and holds pride. I'll probably make a little montage video of the battles of man, so that way we can kind of remember all those shenaniganry. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was a pleasant viewing experience. I hope you maybe learned something. Hope maybe you taught me something, and I hope you had a good time. I know that a lot of times, this year's been a crazy year, and a lot of times for a lot of people in their lives and stuff, they could use a distraction. And I hope that this was one for you. I hope you had a good one. Again, I can't help but appreciate you guys. You guys have always been a really good community, always been very kind to me, and found a way to compliment me even if my stuff was garbage. And I am ever so appreciative of that, and of the incredibly supportive community of Dominions. And I hope you guys stay awesome. In any event, as I'm prone to say, I'm the last pretender. You have seen the redemption of MA Man. I'll see you guys next time.